So now taking ghusl, is it mandatory or not? It's an issue of dispute among scholars. Some scholars say that it is mandatory. The majority of scholars say that it is highly recommended. And the reasons behind both opinions are many, and it would consume us a lot of time, but it is sufficient to know that the majority said it's not mandatory, and the justification for it was also given by Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, when he explained to his companions why was it mandated in the beginning. And he said that in the beginning in Medina, the immigrants were so poor, they had only one garment to wear. Now we have like 10 in our wardrobes. We have few suits here and there. We have so many t-shirts and hoodies and whatever. The companions had only one garment to wear. And whenever they had to wash it, they would isolate themselves in homes, waiting for it until it is dried so that they can put it on again. And it was mainly made of wool because it is durable, like jeans. And when they used to work in their farms and manual or labor work in order to earn some money, they used to sweat heavily. And whenever they went to the masjid early and sat waiting for the Prophet to deliver the Friday sermon, it was packed and it was hot, and they were offended. He ordered them to perform ghusl once every week, referring to Jummah. And once the people, alhamdulillah, got money and they had wealth and they can afford to bathe and to change their clothes, then this obligation was uplifted. And this is why the vast majority of scholars say that it is highly recommended. Now, having said that, a Muslim, a real Muslim, should not take this easy and say to himself, yeah, okay, if it's not mandatory, I'm not going to do it. No. You should do it because the least it is, Allah loves it and the Prophet ﷺ loves it. So the least you do it for is to gain the pleasure of Allah, the Almighty. Having said that, are women also included? The answer is no. This is only for those who are attending the Friday sermon, the Friday prayer. And a question that a lot of the Muslims also ask, can we perform this ghusl at the night of Friday? Because we know that Friday begins after the sunset of Thursday. So now is Thursday here in Saudi Arabia. It's about an hour and a half, no, maybe, yeah, sort of 2 hours minus 10 minutes for sunset. So when the sun sets after an hour and a half or so, now can I perform ghusl of Friday because now it is Friday? Is it not? The answer is yes, it is Friday, but the ghusl is disputed whether it is to be for the day of Friday or for Friday indefinitely. If we say the day of Friday, this means it begins from Fajr and it ends at the Salat itself. Because what's the point of having a bath after the prayer is over? There's no point of that. And if we say it's Friday indefinitely, then yes, after sunset you can. And the rulings differ because of the hadith. So when the Prophet said, alayhi salatu salam, offer salutation upon me as much as you can on the day and night of a Friday, This means after sunset of Thursday, you're okay to go. And he will be exempted from the torment of the grave. Then we say, okay, if a person dies after the sunset of Thursday, he's okay to go. He's included in the hadith. But when it comes to other things that mentions only the day of Friday, then such as the ghusl, such as reciting Surah Al-Kahf, in this case, it should be done after the Fajr is due on a Friday. So the textbook here says in number 3, to wear perfume and take care of one's cleanliness. We mentioned the issue of wearing, the issue of taking care of one cleanliness in the hadith, man bakkara wa abtakar wa ghassala wa ghtasal. And this, some scholars say ghassala, meaning that he caused someone else to have a ghusl. Wa ghtasal, he himself made ghusl. So some scholars interpreted it as referring to having intimacy with the spouse on a Friday night, so that this would result in ghusl for both of them. But this is a bit far-fetched, and Allah knows best. So part of number 3 is to wear perfume. And there is a hadith. Again, this hadith is one of the evidences for the scholars who said that ghusl is mandatory. Because the hadith, and I think it's in Sahih Imam Muslim, goes like this: غسل الجمعة واجب على كل محتلم والطيب والسواك. So those who say it's mandatory, they take the first portion, which says غسل الجمعة, the ghusl of a Friday, is mandatory upon everyone who had reached the age of puberty, and they stop here. While if you continue, the hadith goes to say, and perfume and siwak. So now we have a dilemma, because no one says that during Jumu'ah it is mandatory. Wearing perfume and using the miswak is highly recommended. So why do you say that ghusl is mandatory? So what does wajib here means? Scholars differed, and they say that wajib means that it is fallen, like wajbah. And I don't want to go into details because this would take much of our time, and maybe it's not that stage of fiqh. Maybe if we go to the advanced level, inshallah, then we would go into details. Anyhow, so to wear perfume and to take care of one's cleanliness definitely is a recommended thing. Now the textbook says that clipping one's nails and removing any hair that is recommended to be removed, such as shaving the pubic hair or plucking the armpit hair or trimming one's mustache. They say that all of these things are also recommended. These things are part of the fitrah. So it's recommended without limiting it to a particular ibadah. So in the books of fiqh, sometimes you find these things mentioned when getting prepared for ihram, before wearing the ihram. Yet scholars, in their authentic opinion, said that this is not part of preparing for Jumu'ah. It is not part of preparing for ihram, simply because though these things are good to remove and to perform as characteristics of the fitrah, yet it was never directed to us by the Prophet ﷺ, and hence one should not relate it to it. So if you do it on regular basis every Friday before Friday Jumu'ah, thinking that it is part of the Jum'ah, this is wrong. You should not do it. Do it any other day. Do it Thursday morning. Do it after the Jumu'ah, whatever you want. But if you might be something recommended, then there's no problem in that, inshallah. Number 4, it is recommended also to wear some of one's best clothes. And this is something that scholars agree upon, because the Prophet ﷺ used to have a special set of garment to wear whenever it was Eid, or he has envoys coming and dignitaries to meet him, or whenever it was for Friday. The textbook highlights a hadith of Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, that he would recommend to the Prophet ﷺ to wear a valuable garment for Friday and to receive delegations whenever they come. And also there's an authentic hadith where the Prophet said ﷺ, any one of you will do well to buy 2 garments to use on Friday instead of the 2 he wears for attending to his work. So again, this refers to the issue when the people had only one set of clothes to wear 24/7. This is the only set of clothes they had throughout the year. So the recommendation came from the Prophet ﷺ to honor a Friday by having a special set of clothes that you only wear it for the prayer. And this is something both part of the religion, and it's also part of glorifying Allah Azza wa Jal. When you wear your special clothes, for example, I know some scholars, before going to their TV programs, they wear perfume heavily. And when people ask them, why are you doing this? The cameras are high def, yes, true, but it's not high smell yet. So no one can smell it. He says, yes, but I'm honoring the material I am delivering by preparing to it my best. So this is much a person thinks of what he's doing. So if you have a set of clothes and your wife says, wear these, you have a wedding tonight. He said, no, these are for the Jumu'ah. I only wear them for the Jumu'ah, to glorify the Jumu'ah and to give it a special status. That would be something nice and worth considering.